Okay, here is the most useful tool any soundtrack composer can use. Nothing. That sounds ridiculously counterintuitive, but let me show you why it worked. So, to describe how a composer uses nothing to their advantage, let's look at Howard Shore, who wrote the music for Lord of the Rings, right? So I'm going to talk about the Battle of Helm's Deep, my personal favorite scene from the entire franchise. Okay, so basically, right, before the fight starts, dead silence. No music, it all cuts out. And what this does is it leads to a tension being built, like a calm before the storm. And when this happens, right, it hooks you in. You're thinking, where's this gonna go? Like, it's insane. I'm gonna play the scene for you now, and then we're gonna break it down.
Your friends are with you, Aragorn.
Let's hope they last the night.
Okay, so why does that work so well, especially in the context of the movie, right? You get the shot of all the orcs walking up to Helm's Deep, all 10,000 of the orcs and the men and the orcs. And you can feel the fear because of the lack of music, right? If that was just pounding with some really intense scoring and some really like loud, crazy orchestra, it wouldn't work. It just really, it would take away from that tension that everyone's feeling. It ups the ante so much on the scene. And that's why Howard Shore done such an amazing job with Lord of the Rings, because obviously the music is fantastic, but he also knew when to drop it out. And that was what made it so perfect for this Helm's Deep scene, because you feel like you're there, you're immersed into the scene. And I think that's why it's really interesting to take a look at these things. And now I'm going to break down another scene from a personal favorite anime of mine, Attack on Titan. Another one that uses silence really effectively.
お前さ、疲れてんだよ。なあ、ベルトルト。こうなってもおかしくないくらい大変だったんだろ。
Okay, so what's interesting about this use of silence, right, is instead of taking place before a storm, it still technically does, but this is after a really major reveal, one that's really unexpected, and the silence really lets the audience dwell on that. It's almost like the orchestra's shocked. It's like, what did I just hear? It's crazy. Like, it works really, really effectively in this scene, especially when you know the nature of this reveal. The silence is incredibly powerful, and it really makes the audience sit and think like, oh, like, how did we miss this reveal? Like, this is crazy. And yes, as the scene continues, then it gets really crazy, of course, with the iconic soundtrack coming back into play, and it strikes a nerve. It's so beautiful the way it crescendos back up to climax as the reveal is fully completed. And it shows why silence is so effective, because this scene starts in dead silence with this bombshell being dropped, and then as the music comes back in, the impact is just so much more incredible, because you're not bathing in this music the whole time. Like, when it comes, it hits you like a truck. And that's why I think using silence is so effective in making soundtracks for any medium, whether it's games, movies, animes. And I just think it's really good as an audience to take notes of these little things, because it's always interesting to learn. And if you're a fellow composer out there as well, you can learn to do it yourself. Like, you can learn to use these tools that you might not notice otherwise. And that's why I'm here. I'm going to help you guys with all the tips and tricks on how to make a memorable and enjoyable soundtrack. Next week, I'm going to score a scene from a show. Get ready. I'm going to show you how I use this silence tool to my advantage to score a scene. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.